Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and I'm doing a no by year. This is my everyday makeup drawer. It kind of gotten out of hand. I feel like I've added a few things to it since the last time I filmed the video. I've had some new makeup come into my life because I broke my no buy year and I had placed a few orders. So I've kind of been using a lot of new makeup and it isn't actually in this drawer. But since it has been a while, I wanted to refresh this drawer. And since the last time I've done one of these, I've kind of reorganized my makeup. In this drawer on the right, I used to have a bunch of lip products, but I have since put more acrylic drawers back onto my vanity that I had taken down at some point when I got my big tower of drawers. Anyways, I now have this whole big space in this drawer free up that I think I want to start putting actual base, so foundation, concealer, primer type things that I want to be using on an everyday basis, so that I can get them out of this drawer, and then this drawer will become mainly face color products, so blush, bronzer, highlight type of thing. And already in this drawer I keep sort of my basics. I've got mascaras, my brow products, and eye primers live in here. So those are kind of already in here. So it kind of makes sense to have the base products or foundation, concealer type products that I want to be using on an everyday basis. It kind of makes sense for them to be in here. So that's kind of what I'm planning on doing. I also have this thing. I had chopped my stash for some eyeshadow palettes and I want to refresh this too because I have some custom created palettes that I've been reaching for. So I want to put these away and get some new ones out. So I'll also be doing that. So the first thing I'm going to do with this drawer is I'm actually going to take everything out. And as I'm taking things out, sort of my everyday bases. So I have this primer, and I should also say the things that I'm trying to use up. So this Fenty thing I've been trying to use up for quite a while. As I'm taking everything out, I'm going to transfer some of that stuff into the drawer on the right. But I want to get this one completely empty so I can kind of start fresh. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so I've also switched up some of the containers that I'm using in here. I kind of just feel like I'm never quite happy with the situation that I have going here. So I'm going to see if if I can make this work for me this time. So now that this is empty, let's go shopping. Alright, so now that I have the right hand side available, I'm going to put some more or different primers and concealers I think up there. So the first thing I'm going to pull is this L'Oreal redness eraser, and I'm also going to pull the Glossier concealers. I used them in a look the other day and I really liked the finish. And then I'm also going to pull this Natasha Denona concealer. I am also going to pull this Item Beauty concealer. It's a really light one. And this Natasha Denona one is just a tad dark for me. So I'm thinking if I can mix a little bit of this in, it might be perfect. I am also going to pull this Charlotte Tilbury, I'm also going to pull the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I'm going to give the Auric Glow Lust a break for a little bit and maybe try to use this up. Onto foundations. I'm going to pull the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. I got this when I broke my no-buy. And I really enjoyed it and I want to keep using it, so I want to pull it where it's readily available. Same with the Ritual de Fille. I'm going to pull this as well. And I wore this the other day and I really was remembering how much I liked the finish of it. It's a little bit dark for me, but I have a white color corrector that I can use, so I'm going to pull this. That's it for here. I'm not going to pull any powders. I have some of the Hourglass finishing powder that I'm trying to finish up right now, so I'm going to just keep trying to use that. One of the things that I've sort of rearranged is I've added back a whole bunch of acrylic drawers to the top of my vanity, and I think I'm going to try, so even though these are like in front of me, I'm still going to try to pull a few things just so that I can get more use out of them. These eyeshadow sticks. I've been really into bronzies, grungies lately, so I want to pull a couple of these. I want to pull the By Terry Bronze Moon and Misty Rock. And I think for a hint of color, I'm going to pull this mint one from e.l.f. Okay, I think I'm also going to pull the Giorgio Armani, this is the shade 10, and Lisa Eldridge Anise. I'm going to pull these two. I've also kind of been on a Surratt kick. This is a super shiny, like, wet look topper. It's in the shade Star. I'm going to pull this. And because I'm pulling that, I'm also pulling this Surratt. It's like the smoky eye baton thing in this shade Cenders. Alright, so I think that's all for like individual eyeshadow type things that I'm going to pull. Now on to, I guess I'll do the eyeshadow palettes. Sitting right on top here are the ones that I've recently created. So I have my custom palette based on like using Barbie as my inspiration. So I'm going to pull this. Also the palette that I made using Oppenheimer as an inspiration. And then more recently, I made this custom Natasha Denona using MIDI palettes, and this one using the larger palettes. So I'm going to keep both of these up here as well. And I'm also going to put this Cleona the Deep Sea Treasures in here. Alright, this is also just randomly sitting up here, but it's the the Mob Beauty foundation bronzer. And then I also have two of my Kjaer Weis cream blushes in here. This quad has kind of not really had a home, so I'm going to pull this and put it in my drawer just so that I can make more use out of it and sort of give it a home. And then another eyeshadow palette that I want to pull is this ColourPop Lust for Dust. I just feel like it's kind of giving late summer, early fall vibes, and I want to use it. Alright, so those are good for the eyeshadow palettes. This is my salt palette that just sort of always sits up here. Okay, a couple other random things that I've just had floating about because they're newer and I haven't really found a place in the drawers yet. This the Glow Sculpt in the shade Quartz. I'm going to pull this so that I can keep using it. And the Sunmelt Bronzer in Fair Bronze. And then also this House Lab blush in the shade Lavender Blonde. It was also part of my break. So I want to keep using this. So this top drawer is now smaller eyeshadow palettes, and I've got a couple random singles in here. I don't think that there's anything in here that I particularly want to pull. So now on to, let's see, these are just the bigger eyeshadow palettes. Again, nothing in particular that I want to pull. Actually, I maybe want to pull this and use it. I've hardly used it at all since I got it, so I think I'm going to also pull this to put with my eyeshadow palettes. Okay, but now for real, that's all for eyeshadow. Alright, bronzer highlight drawer. I had the Divine Daylight Phytosurgeons highlighter out, and I'm going to keep this in the drawer. I also had Westman Atelier Biscuit out, along with the highlighter stick in Lit, and I think I want to also keep both of these out to use. But everything else that I had in the drawer, I think I'm going to put away. So now I'm just choosing new stuff for bronzers. I'm going to pull the Westman Atelier Beauty Butter, the Coupe de Soleil, and I think I want to pull the House Labs. And I also want to pull the Make Beauty. I think that's probably good for bronzers. Unless... Okay, one more. I'm also going to pull the RMS Contour Bronze. And then for highlighters, so I have the Phytosurgeons and the Westman Atelier. Oh, and the Say one. Do I want any others? I'm going to pull the RMS, the Magic Luminizer. This is really old, so maybe it's not going to perform well at all, but since I pulled the RMS bronzer, I'm going to pull this as well. Okay, blush. Okay, of the blushes that I had in my drawer, I'm going to keep Fox. I'm also going to keep this other House Labs blush in Pomelo Peach. I'm going to keep out the Smashbox Halo in Sunset. I'm going to keep the Ritual de Fille Hummingbird, but I'm going to put the other one back. But of the Ritual de Fille, I also want Desire and Lovesick. Alright, so I got 4 of the Makeup by Mario's. I'm going to pull Perfect Pink, and Rose Crush. And I'm also going to pull both of these NARS blushes. I have the shades Behave and Brazen. I'm going to pull the Rare Beauty Virtue, and I'm going to keep this Summer Fridays one out, the Pink Skies. I'm going to pull Fenty Drama Class, and actually I think just all 3 of these. So I have the Rose Latte, Cool Berry, and Drama Class. I'm going to pull all 3. I'm going to pull the Nudies Body Language, and also the Phytosurgeons Condensate. I'm also going to pull both of these Make Beauty ones. This one's actually a bit of a bronzer shade. It's the shade Toasted, but then I also have Slush. I'm going to pull both of these. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to pull, I guess, both of these. The Thrive in Tessa and the Anastasia one in Latte. Okay, I think that's it for cream. All right, powder. I'm gonna do the Armani blush in 11. And I'm going to keep both 51 and 40 out. 51 and 40 had been in the shopped drawer before. All right, these two are new to me, so I want to shop for them. The Kiss of Mauve and then the Rose Glow like highlighting blush thing. And then I also I got all 4 of the new Dior blushes, which was kind of just ridiculous. I already had the coral and the original pink one, so I'm going to shop for, I'm going to pull the pink, and then I also want to pull rosewood and cherry. Okay, also for foundations, I've been really into using my stick foundations, and I had the Westman Atelier and the Merit one, so I'm going to keep both of those in my drawer. And then I have recently gotten the Bosma one, which is in a really light color, and the Merit and the Westman Atelier are both just a tad bit dark for me, but when I mix this one in with them, it's like perfect. So I'm going to pull all 3 of these. Alright, now that should be it. Alright, so I'm going to start with the foundations and primers and powders and stuff. So I already had the e.l.f. primer because it's almost gone, and this In Beauty thing because it's almost gone. And then the other things that I'm like working on finishing are the Matchstick in Amber, the Bareback Nudies all over face thing, and Ritual Defeat Eros. Okay, and then I also have the NARS Soft Matte, the Becca Under Eye Corrector. I have the Exa Corrector, and then I was able to put my blue and white like foundation mix-ins in here. So now I'm just going to put everything else face related in here. Now onto this drawer, which is more of the eye stuff that I pulled, and then blush, bronzer, highlight. Alright, so here is my basic everyday makeup drawer refreshed. I like that I now have this other space in this drawer so that everything isn't so crammed in here. And last time I had said something about how I kept reaching for more in my other drawers, which is why I put so much more in here. But since I did that and this had been so packed, I found myself kind of a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of choices. So I think it's good that it's divided out like this and that I have less choices, kind of, just so that I can get more use out of what I've put in here. So I'm excited to use this stuff for the next little while. I don't know how long it'll be, maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month or so. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I love watching videos like this. I love watching people organize and switch out their makeup and just sort of like seeing how people choose to house their makeup. It's always really interesting for me to see. So hopefully this was that for you. If you liked this, give it a thumbs up. It would help me out. If you're new here, I've done quite a few of these shopping my stash and refreshing my makeup drawers. So if you're into that kind of thing, there's going to be more. I also have done quite a few creating my own eyeshadow palettes. So if you also like that kind of thing, subscribe. I have plenty more coming. That's all I've got. See you in the next one. Bye.